guys, Queen of Flannel here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to Watercolor Wednesday. I have something special for us this week, so we're going to do something a little different. We are going to paint, but first I want to share with you guys this new set of brushes that I have acquired from Craftamo. I want to talk a little bit about the brushes. I'm going to show them off, and then we are going to work on this image from Sarah Kate Couture's Etsy shop. I will, more than likely, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off painting and chatting with you guys, because this is the first time I will be using these brushes, and then I will speed things up, and at the end for my outro, come back and kind of talk about my thoughts after I use them. So first, let us talk about the brushes. First off, this packaging is gorgeous, and apparently it is made from recycled materials, which is nice. So I was introduced to Craftamo via Emma LaFave's channel. I was actually holding out hope of snagging one of her collab sets, and those pretty much sold out, I believe, as soon as she went live. The day that they dropped, those suckers were gone. So I did pick up the other regular set of bamboo watercolor brushes. So 10 premium eco bamboo artist brushes suitable for watercolor, acrylic, and oil. Craftamo is based out of the UK. I ordered these on, I want to say, the 5th of the month, and they got here in about 2 weeks, which I think is pretty good with all of, you know, the shipping things that are going on now and it coming from overseas. Oh, this has a little magnet in it. So let's open these up. Hey there, we're Craftamo and this is Bamboo, the finest quality bamboo artist brushes out there. Sustainable bamboo, recycled brass, and cruelty-free fibers. It's official, you're now an eco artist. Isn't this Insta-worthy? If you love it, share it. We'd heart that. Hashtag Craftamo cares on Instagram. That's pretty cool. And then let's see. We're Craftamo. We're rethinking artist brushes from bamboo to brush. The less trees we use, the more oxygen we breathe. Clean air means clearer thinking, allowing creativity to blossom. Hashtag go wood free. And then on the other side, this goes through the brushes that are in the set. Talks a little bit more about how they're made. So this doesn't specifically state what the bristles are made of, just that they are not made from any animal products. They're 100% cruelty free. I did take one of them out and was kind of trying to like see if I could figure out maybe what it is, and they do feel like a Taklon brush, which I actually I prefer the Taklon style brushes. I have a set from that I picked up from oh, where did I get these? Art Smith. I think that's Joanne's brand that I really enjoy using. I just prefer the feel of the bristles. And I also have my Princeton Snap brushes, which I'm not sure if these are Taklon or not, but I like these as well. But they do have that kind of feel to them. 10 round brushes in a 000, a 00, a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, and 10. recycled brass ferrules, sustainable bamboo. So let us take our first brush out. I put this back on here. I took this off because obviously I was touching the brush. I have not introduced these to any water yet. I have not washed off any of the factory stuff. These are pretty much straight out of the box. This is the size 10, the largest brush in the set. There is a size 12 that you can purchase separately, individually off their website, and you can also purchase any of these brushes in the set as single brushes as well. So we have the size 10. Put that down. I'm just gonna go ahead and pull all of these out of this packaging here. Some of these get pretty tiny. Let's see if I've kept these in order. The size 8. A size 6. So let me... With my Princeton snap brushes, this is the size that I tend to use quite frequently. I just want to compare this. So the handles are a little longer, which is nice. And I'm just going to put this ferrule to ferrule here. So it looks like they're pretty close in size. I think my the Princeton snap brushes are a little bit longer. I like this size brush, but unfortunately I don't know if it was my Princeton snap brush, but it's got some loose hairs on it, so hopefully this one stays a little pointier for us here. So we've got our size 6, and then we get into the tiny. We have a size 3, size 2. Oh, these aren't in order. So let's see if we can do this a little easier here. So we have the size 2, the size 3, in the size 4. Oh, in there. That's okay, we'll fix it. So some small brushes. And then we have the teeny tiny detail brushes. The 2-0. These aren't in order. I'm just going to read the sizes off. The 2-0, a size 1, a size 0, and a size 3-0. So this is the super tiny pointy brushes there. Apologize for the lighting. So, they just from my first, taken out of the box here, they're very light. I feel like they feel very comfortable in my hand, which is nice. Like, seriously, these are really light. I love the rose gold ferrule on here, super pretty. And this is like, it's not the handles aren't varnished. So if you're doing washes and you're holding your brush, farther back, it's not gonna slide in and out, like in and out of your hands. Like you'll be able to hold this pretty stable. So, and like I said, I have not used these, and I'm excited to break them out. So what I'm going to do now is go and just rinse them off real quick, and get myself set up, tape down my picture, come back, and we'll chat a little bit while we take our first dive into watercoloring with our Craftamo Bamboo brushes. I will see you guys in a minute. Okay, so I've got my image all taped down, my paint's set up. Real quick, before we start, let me just go through my supplies once again. I am using my Daniel Smith paint palette that I put together myself, which there is actually a video for. And then I have another, this is Quinacridone Burnt Scarlet, another Daniel Smith back here. It's not part of my main palette, but I wanted to use it for this project. And the brand new Craftamo, brand new to me anyways, brand new Craftamo brushes. I'm going to start with my size 10. And we're going to try and get our base colors down first and see how these brushes perform. And yeah, so I'm gonna mix up some of my raw umber here. I'm just adding a little bit more water because I want this a nice wash for my table in the back there. And I am actually going to bring in a little bit of the Quinacridone Burnt Scarlet, just because I have a plan for that later and I want things to be cohesive. These are really nice. I'm gonna say that like first thing. It is extremely light. Like it feels nice in your hand. I'm able to get right up to the edge of that with this point, and it snaps right back. And I am using, I forgot to mention what paper I am using. This is Strathmore Inkjet watercolor paper. And it does buckle a bit, but not quite as bad as the cardstock that I was using. And it bounces back better. Plus, it fits in my printer, which is nice. So I actually feel like I am coloring, painting on watercolor paper. I did discover, though, that you can print on both sides of this paper, but one side is it is a different finish, and it doesn't seem to enjoy being painted on, which is strange. very difficult to lift and correct and move your paint around to smooth out edges on the other side of this paper. So I was wondering, I was like, what am I was working on another project, and I was like, what am I doing wrong here? And then I was kind of looking at it, and it has a different a little bit of a different texture and a different finish on it than this side does. And so I tried printing on the other side and was able to get much better results. Yeah, I think these are gonna be my my go-to brushes. I just colored some brown in my leaf because I wasn't paying attention, but you know what? That's okay. That is okay. We will... I'm not even gonna say correct it, because odds are this leaf was gonna have some brown in it anyways, so doesn't even matter. But yeah, these brushes are very nice. I think when I have a little bit of extra cash, I will probably order the size 12, which does not come in the set of 10. But you can order it on its own. Just to have something a little bit bigger. But it's really nice being able to get in these small little cracks and crevices and not have to change brushes. So I'm going to try and get this table done and then give it a chance to air dry and start working on maybe the cloth over on the other, the blanket over on the other side. I'm still waiting on my my Ranger heat tool to come from Amazon. It should be here today. But that's okay. If I need it, I've got my hair dryer in here to use for now. And then I was looking at it and I think I might at the end go in with either the watercolor pencils or just regular colored pencils and go over some of the lines on this table just to give those a little more definition. I'm gonna try and do the majority of my shadows around some of these objects with the watercolor, but if I need a little bit more something towards the end, then I'll go in with the pencils. This pass is just trying to, I'm just trying to get a wash down. This would be like my base color. And then I'll go in with more, more pigment. After this layer is a little drier. I could do some wet on wet in the corners and see how that goes. But for some of like the little shadow areas, I'm gonna swap brushes because I want to try out the other brushes in the set. Yeah, the precision on these tips is pretty amazing. Not gonna lie to you guys. And they feel nice in your hand as well. Like they're very light. Which is nice. Try and smooth some of this out, although I'm not really worried about it being darker in the edges because my plan was to darken these anyways. And I have found with this paper, sometimes it's best to just let your layers dry first and not overwork it, and see what it looks like once it's dry. It gives you a better more accurate picture of maybe where you need to go in and touch things up. I'm just trying to get a good good wash around some of these smaller objects. Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone for right now and let it do its thing. And I'm going to come over to the blanket over here, and I'm gonna work a little bit on that. And so what I'm going to do is swap these palettes around and just add some water to this chunk of paint in here. And I'm swapping to my size 6 brush. I could stick with the size 10, but I think I want to go with a smaller brush for this. And I'm going to use the this is quinacridone burnt scarlet, and I am going to use it. Just want to make sure to just do a light wash for right now over these larger areas on this blanket. It's a really pretty color. This was another spot I was debating going in with the pencils towards the end, or at the end after it dries, and in some of these little spots right here. But what I could do is, since I have them, I might as well use them. Bust out some of the detail brushes in this set, and go in and add some darker areas with one of the detail brushes. I'm thinking about adding some purple to this, but I don't want it to be overpowering. So I'm trying to figure out the best way. Not sure what I want to do for the smaller areas of the blanket. So I might just do these bigger areas and then move on to a different piece, and come back to this. These are really fun brushes to use, you guys. It's like, I don't know why. I don't know. I mean, I guess there's a brush out there for everyone. And not that I'm advocating going out and buying a whole bunch of brushes to try them, but I feel like that's kind of what you have to do, is just, you have to find your brush, I guess. These will definitely be coming with me when I travel. Although I don't think I'm going to take them in their pretty box. I'll keep the box, but I have another little case that I use. That probably will hold up a little bit better, I think. A little too much water on that. That's okay. We'll blend it out. Let's see. Right, since I did those little ridges in the same, these little strips between between the sections in this color, I'm gonna go back through and do these as well. I wasn't sure if I was going to do those in an accenting color or what I was going to do with those. So I know I said in my intro that I would speed things up, but I might just let this one not be a speed paint. I might just paint this out. Have any of you guys used these Craftamo Bamboo brushes? If so, let me know in the comments and let me know what you think of them. If you have not used these brushes, but have a favorite brush, let me know what your favorite brush is. This is such a cute picture. Alright, and then it looks like because of the way this is folded, I've got this outer edge here as well. And get around the cup here. Okay, gotta be careful with this because I don't want to go into this smaller area here. Although it wouldn't really matter if I did, because I think that kind of lends to the like smushy, bunchy blanket look. Okay, let's get crazy here. So I am going to go for some quinacridone purple. And all right. Actually, you know what? Let's just add a little bit of the red in here. I don't dislike the way it looks. And I will probably drop some of this purple in the leaves when I get there, just to tie things in. Okay, I am back. My kiddo poked his head in the office. I'm just gonna try something here. I just want to see what it does. That's actually not horrible. So I just went in and dropped a little bit of the quinacridone burnt scarlet in this little area with the purple, and yeah, that's not bad. So I might do that in a couple other spots as well. I think it'll make things a little more cohesive. Let's... So I do want this area to be a little darker, or a little lighter, I mean. Let's see what we get. This paper isn't really the greatest for true wet on wet, and I am trying to be kind of conservative with how much water I put on the paper at once. But blend that out a little. Yeah, that's pretty. And let's see what we get here. In this corner. Yeah, you kind of have to, you kind of have to help it on this paper. It doesn't necessarily, like, spread out, like it would on a higher quality, watercolor paper. So let me put some water in here. See what I can get this to do. I'm trying not to play too much with the details yet, and just try and get my basic washes down first. But it's kind of one of those things, like, you have a little bit of a plan, but you don't want to be like so married to your plan that if it doesn't go the way you want, that you're frustrated, and just kind of like trusting the process and going with what feels good in terms of your art while you're doing it, you know, and just let it be. Now I have the Beatles stuck in my head. Oh gosh, one of my cats is outside my office door crying, probably because he wants to go in the garage. But I don't really want him in the garage. some of this I'll just have to wait until it dries and I see what it does before I make any adjustments to it. Okay, back to... I'll leave that for now. Back to the washes. I get in kind of like a zone when I'm painting. And I feel like there's only so many ways I can tell you guys I like these brushes. Nope. Okay, so after we get this last chunk of blanket done over here, I'm going to let it dry and then we'll come back and we'll start working on some of the other elements. So hopefully I have enough mixed up in here. Should. Oh, I still got this piece up here too. Darn it. All right. This space in here, it's okay if it's a little darker because it would be darker in here anyways. Okay, we're gonna let this dry and then come back and see if we can finish it up. Okay, we are back and yeah, so before we jump into this and get back into this project, I just want to let you guys know that there have been a few days of a gap between filming this project with the holidays and some other things going on. I kind of got waylaid, and then I don't know if I got a little burnt out on autumn pictures, but it's been sitting on my desk just kind of staring at me. I really wanted to finish it, but for whatever reason, I just needed to take a break from this. The original plan was to have it out last week, and it just didn't happen. So we're back at it. I have done some of the detail work off camera. On the plus side, though, taking the time to work on some other projects in between this one, I have had a chance to use these brushes for a few other projects. So when I do the real first thoughts after we finish this, I will actually have some solid some solid thoughts for you guys on how I feel about these, since I have used them not just on some other coloring projects, but an actual painting that I did that is now sitting in my living room. But yeah, so this little mixture is a combination of, let's see, I've got some green gold, some sap green, and some new Gambosian here for this leaf. I was a little unsure about whether or not I wanted to go with green, but we're gonna do it anyways. I'm actually going to drop some darker green in here. Let's see. Yeah, this paper is a little funky in terms of wet on wet, so I'll have to do some blending out here. Actually, kind of, let's see what we get here. I want this dark green to spread out. And then I think I'm gonna do the same thing in some of these corners and just see what happens. Yeah, got a little too much water there, but that's okay. And I do have my little Ranger heat tool now, so I can bust that out to speed things up. I had actually thought about releasing this earlier and just not doing it on Watercolor Wednesday. But then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna work on some other things. Let this one be for a little bit and come back to it. So mostly when I did work on this off camera, I mostly worked on the blanket. I did leave a few spots so I could show you guys how I did some of the detailing. We'll go back and we'll do that at the end here. Kind of adding some shading around the outside here, and I can go back in and blend these out once I see how it looks when it dries. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this leaf for a minute and swap over to my size 6 brush, and we're gonna take some of the raw sienna and start with just a light wash of this color, and then once it dries on this one, I'm gonna go back in and do my darker values, and then I might at the end bust out some of the Dr. P.H. Martins for some highlights. So since I'm working with this color, this mixture, I'm just gonna do all of my acorns now. And I've kind of I battled with myself as far as the mug goes. I wasn't sure what I was gonna do with the mug in terms of color, and I think I'm going to primarily leave it white and just use some Payne's Gray in the shadows. And I'm actually going to move over and work on that while some of these dry, and then after that we will hit it with the dryer and see how we do. So I'm gonna do the inside first. So let's take... I'm just gonna take some of this and mix it in with what I've got on my palette over here. So we're gonna work on the latte. And I'm gonna use quite a bit of water for this first. In my mixture, not on my brush. Because I want my first wash of this to be pretty light, and I'm gonna go over the whole thing. I probably should have done this with a bigger brush, but that's okay, because this brush will work for the inner parts here. My plan is, once this dries, is to go back in between with a darker wash. This should lighten up pretty well, so then my latte art in the center will end up being a lighter color than the rest of my coffee. And I can go in between here once it's dry and darken up the rest of it. And I think I will, I think I am going to bring out the bleed proof white and do some little bubbles on top of this. I actually don't hate the way that looks. Just do a little darker in between here, but I kind of like the mottled little variation on it, and the Daniel Smith raw sienna is granulating, so it gives it some nice texture, and should be able to really like get in here with the tip of this brush. Yeah, that's like not having to change brushes here. I am a fan. But yeah, I definitely have some things to say about these brushes. So once we finish this, I will come back and do a little... I hesitate to use the word review. More like... I mean, I guess that's the word for it. But definitely share with you guys my thoughts. And I will, I'll pull some of the other stuff that I've worked on that I've used these on, so you guys can see, a couple other projects besides just this, live demo here. Let's see. A little bit darker around the edges, so I grabbed some burnt umber. Okay, let's go back to, because these feel pretty dry. Go back to our acorns. Let's see. I'm kind of trying to avoid using too much of the burnt umber on the acorn, since that's pretty much the majority of the table, so I don't want them to blend right in with the table. So I got I did get an art, like a drawing board. So I will be able to just tape these to my board from now on. But this one was already taped to my desk, so there it stayed. But then it'll be nice because I can just turn the board and work on different areas and not have to worry about smudging things. Let's go ahead and hit this with the dryer. This little Ranger Heat It craft tool is honestly probably one of the best investments I've made. So on this paper, it will it'll buckle it a little bit as you dry it, but then once it kind of like calms down, the paper will straighten back out. That should be pretty good. Let's see. I think I'm gonna keep the I think I'm going to keep the leaves that are on the blanket both green. I just might add some different tones in here. I don't want to add too much orange or even like the purple red, since that is the color of the blanket. So we'll keep these both green over here, and then we'll do something different with that one. Oh, I think that's part of the blanket. So when I start doing some detail work here, I will have to go back and fix that. Yeah, this paper is a little rough for wet on wet. And bring in some yellow, maybe. Do we not like that paper? That's... In some of these little areas, I might have to do off camera because it's hard to see from where I am sitting, since I can't move the image, which is fine because I will do the cleanup off camera once we get everything in here, and then come back and show you guys the finished product, and we will talk about the brushes. Okay, so I think over on this side over here, I'm gonna use for this other leaf, use some new gamboge, grab some of my brown mixture over here. That's not too bad. Don't dislike the way that color came out. Kind of a mustardy Gonna kind of push some of that around. I had a little too much pigment on my brush when I went in with that, but that's kind of the nice thing about leaves is they have that variation in tone, so it doesn't look like you mucked it up. And let's see, bring in some of this. So I should have grabbed a clean wet brush instead of just going back in with the one in my hand, but let's see here. Let's grab some burnt umber. And some of whatever this is on my palette. See what it does. I'm fairly certain there's some permanent rose in there. I think that's the mixture that I was using for a portrait I was working on for her lips. But that's okay. Alright, so let's let that dry, and I'm going to grab my size 2 brush and I'm just gonna kind of dot this in here. Do these little spots right here. And kind of flick this across here. They kind of blend in with the table a little too much, but maybe once I start working with the Payne's Gray, I might make myself up like a little like Mars Black-esque mixture. Okay, let's yeah, let's bust out the Payne's Gray. And I'm okay if it mixes with the brown. Does not bother me, but I want this to be a pretty dilute mixture because it's basically going to just act as some shadow here on my cup. Oops. Oops. I got a little bit on my other brush that was sitting over here. Alright, so I'm actually gonna lift some of that off. Alright, I'm actually pretty pleased with the way this looks. Let me just touch up. I just noticed a little spot over here that I missed on the table. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is go off camera. I'm gonna do some of just the cleanup work, and then I'm gonna come back and I will show you guys a couple other images that I have used these brushes on, and we will talk about them. So I will see you guys in a minute. All right, so here is our finished project that we worked on with our new Craftamo bamboo brushes. I will put this up on Instagram, so you guys can take a look at it over there. Couple other things that I have done using using the Craftamo brushes. I got I got on a portrait kick. So these are all from Christine Caron, all done with using my bamboo brushes. So I have the steampunk girl, I have Cleo, and then the jewel thief. A couple of these are up on Instagram, but let's put these aside for right now and talk about these brushes. So, as I mentioned during the last part, I did take a break on this project and worked on a couple other things. So I have gotten a chance to use these not just on this demo picture, but on some portraits. So I'm fairly certain I have used every single brush in the set at some point, right down to the tiniest brush. Currently, I have zero negative things to say about these brushes. They hold quite a bit of water, which is nice for big washes. They have held up well. The points have maintained their points, even, you know, kind of doing some scrubby washes back and forth, which is great. Their size wise is, I feel there's something in here for everybody. There's quite a few detail brushes that are in here. So if you do really tiny details, small things like that, you've got quite a selection here to choose from, and they work great. I use them to do the bubbles on our demo picture. I think these would be well suited if you do modeling, you know, things like that. I don't know how well they would hold up with stage makeup, but I will put that out there. I think with these fine points, you might be able to get some really good details if you do theatrical makeup. I won't be using these for that purpose. I have other brushes for that, but you know, the only thing that I would maybe like to see is on the larger end of the scale. Now, they do make a size 12 that you can get individually. All of these brushes you can purchase singly. So if you know, if there's too many detail brushes in here for you and you just want the 6, 8, and the 10, you can buy them individually. There is a size 12, which I will more than likely get to round out my collection. And they do have other brushes on their website in different styles and for different needs. But these will probably be my my go-to brushes for now. I think they're great. That's, you know, that's the long and short of it. I would 100% recommend these brushes. So I will leave a link to Craftamo's website in the description below. If you have any questions about them, feel free to let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell to get notified when I post additional content, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much.